Alright, guys, this is Lyend doing a tutorial on all CSS, and what we're going to be covering today is a lot of stuff that looks really intimidating, that looks a lot like this, but I'm going to break it down and make it really quick for you guys. And right now I'm using a program called Notepad++. I highly recommend this program, a very nice program. We're going to start with this program. We're going to go with new, and we're going to start with save as. I'm jumping straight into the coding, guys. No time to waste. And you can name this file whatever you like. I'm going to name mine tutorial.html. and we're going to save it. And for me, I already made this file, and we're going to go straight into it. And you realize that we're doing .html because it's a web page. Okay. And first thing we're going to type is doc-type HTML. What this does, and make sure to have an exclamation point at the very beginning, but what this does is it just defines the fact that we're using HTML document, and we're going to do HTML. And in HTML, we have to close everything we do. I realize in minis that you don't exactly have to do that, but, you know, in this case, I guess you do, just because it's HTML. And I'm going to make some organizational tags that are considered professional. You guys don't have to have the head tags, but you guys do need the style tags, because that's where our main coding is going to be at. Especially as a beginner, your main coding is always going to be in those style tags. You are going to be, that is your life right there for the main coding. And we're going to make the body tags, and what the difference between the body and the head tags are. The head tags is where all the coding is going to be that people don't see, and then the body tags is where all the elements are that people are going to see. So let's go straight into this, and we're going to start with IDs and class files. I wouldn't call them files, but that's why I like to think of them as their own individual thing. For coding. And now IDs you use once, and class files are used multiple times. So I'm not really going to go huge into those right now. I'm just going to show you some very basic stuff of what you can do in CSS as well as HTML. And this is just going for the people who are well good at connecting with things. Now, if you remember in Chatango minis that font face equals Times New Roman, that's how you change your font. And all other cases when it comes to minis, but what we're going to be doing in CSS is we're going to put this little sign, and this is an ID. We can name this ID whatever we like. For me, we're going to call it fuckface, because that's what I want to call my ID. And we're going to make these brackets, and these brackets are very important, because without these brackets we won't be able to do anything. Now, white space does not include in CSS, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to start off with doing some very basic stuff. So in CSS there is these things that you put into the code and they modify things. Now this is my full profile that I actually took the time to make, and you guys can see that it's extremely overdone profile. It's huge. And now where are we going to get these codes that we're going to put into this? Because there's no way you're going to memorize every single CSS code. There's no way. I've never seen a person do it, except maybe for the creators. So we're going to go ahead and go on W3 Schools. And this is just has HTML, CSS, JavaScript, a whole bunch of tutorials. Highly recommend. I love this site. Has everything you'd ever need. Now we're going to go ahead and click CSS tutorials. Now, your first reaction is when you see this website is that, oh my god, what the fuck is this? But that's at least my first reaction. So what we're going to go ahead and do is you'll notice that they also have these brackets, and there's code in between them. Now this code is very different from HTML, and we're actually going to copy and paste code. This is how I learned. I could not just write the code, I had to copy and paste it. So this is a website for you guys. You can copy and paste the code in. Now the first thing you're going to notice is that color is no longer in hex. You do not need hex to do color, so you don't need to be doing stuff like that anymore. And also in HTML you can do three letter code, not letter but 3 number codes as well. We're going to stick with orange though, just for time's sake. And the p algin thing now exists in text algin, and those are our first 2 codes. Now the very basics of CSS I do have memorized, And you know, in font face, we're actually going to use font family. It's the same exact thing. We're going to use Times New Roman. Now, and every time you do in CSS to end a code, you use a semicolon. This is very true for many languages, but specifically for CSS, every single line must have a semicolon, or it is going to fail, and you are going to get aggravated, and you are going to hate CSS for the rest of your life. So be very careful with this. If you're careful to begin with, you will not get stressed over this. Now you guys may be asking, why would I want to do all this when I can do it in HTML? Well, firstly, this is much cleaner, but secondly, we can get into very much more detail with these. We can make boxes, we can do a whole bunch of stuff. We can make everything you can imagine pretty much under the sun visually. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right into this, and we're going to go with font face size. Now, in normal HTML, that would just be it. But in CSS, we actually use the default, which is px, which stands for pixel, so it's going to be 12 pixel size. And as I was saying before with these body tags, is that we're going to be using these. Now, everything we do, this little thing right here is called a div, and code goes straight into the HTML, div. And this little pound symbol that I was talking about before, called an ID, we're actually going to just type that right in, ID. And we're going to make it an equal sign, just like we would in normal HTML. Now, we called this div fuckface. So we're just going to just copy and paste that right there. And now we have the same exact thing in one code as we would have in multiple codes in HTML. As you can see, this is already getting cleaner and cleaner. And we can put any text we want, blah blah blah. And as I said, with when you're doing web design, in any type of case, you want to close everything. Okay? This is pretty much true for all coding. And now you may ask, okay, this is fun and dandy, but how do I actually look at this? So we're actually going to go save, and we're going to go run, and wherever we want to run it in, I'm going to run mine in Firefox. I highly discourage anyone using IE for this kind of stuff, because IE has a lot of glitches when it comes to CSS and everything. And as you can see, in the middle of our web page is this wonderful word that I made up, and it's centered and it's orange, and technically that's 12 pixels large. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, that's great. Now how do I actually make a full profile with this stuff, make it amazing and everything else under the sun, and have it so it interacts with everything? Well, we're going to get to this. This is very basic. I just want you guys to get your head around it. And not everything in CSS has to be a div. You can modify existing tags and such. And every one of these things is called a tag. I like to call it a tag, at least. As you can see, we have that tag right here. And if we were to actually do that real quick, and I'll make this very quick. Remember, always use your brackets. I'm using a lot of white space in mine, so mine looks very dandy to me, and it does not look complicated. And we're actually going to use attribute background color, and we're going to change the background color to, let's say, yellow, because that is a sexy color. So now we have this background color that when I save this, the whole entire page, because I did not specify, because the body is everything, right? Everything here. This is everything you're seeing here is the body. And now I refresh this, all this is yellow. And this is very basic, guys. This is just kind of a straight interview of what you guys can do with CSS. And I know I didn't cover a lot. Hopefully maybe I'll make a part 2 to this. But we'll see about that, guys. And you know, this is basically what you're doing. And that's just going over some very basic things. But yeah, guys, if you guys need help, check out these tutorials right here. There's a whole bunch of stuff here you can use, and we'll work into CSS 3 and everything, but definitely look up plenty of designs for all sorts of stuff. And this is all cool stuff right here too, occupancy and gallery and bar, navigation bar, I don't know how to say that, allergen, floating, position, display. That's all fun and dandy, but yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and we're going to stop this video right here.